Welcome to my 4th annual Boycott Black Friday video. As you can see, the graphics department put that up on the wall. Thanks, guys. I've been doing this for 4 years now, and every year what I do is I make a video where I try to encourage people to make gifts instead of just jumping on the consumer freight train that goes running through town this time of year. Because we don't need that, and we don't need more stuff even, really. We just need more love. But if you must give a physical gift, why not make it? In my very first anti-Black Friday video, I made blocks for my son, who was then 2 years old. It was just very simple stacking blocks. And he's now 6, and I wanted to kind of continue on that theme, so I made these blocks that are a little more complicated. Shh, don't tell him about any of this. He can't see this video till after Christmas. But there's more to this. Now, I made these on my CNC machine that Rockler put in my shop. And so I took the code and I created it. I created a file share where you can go download this code and make your own. I also made an 8.5 by 11 piece of paper with the shapes on it. So if you do not have a CNC machine, you can print out this piece of paper and cut it out on a scroll saw or bandsaw, or even a table saw if you set up a safe jig. So go check that out in the file share and make your own. But there's still even more. These building blocks are just building blocks for something bigger, and the pun is intended, of course. I want to see modifications made. I want to see what you guys do with them. There's a lot of room for growth in this. Make different shaped pieces that fit in, or color schemes, or patterns, and make it some kind of, like domino type game or whatever. There's all sorts of stuff can be done with these blocks, and I want to see what the hive mind comes up with. So please, take my plans and mess them up, and then share them again in this file share. Everybody can upload and download to it. The only thing I ask is that we keep this all on the free. I don't want to see anybody selling plans, and I don't want to see anybody selling the actual blocks. These are gifts. This is my gift, and I want everybody to have this gift and share it with other people that they care about. I wanted to get the ball rolling on this to give an example, so I sent the plans to my friend Paul Jackman over at Jackman Works, and he has already done a video where he has used these and made his own modifications, so go check that out.
Hey guys, this is Paul Jackman here from the Jackman Works YouTube channel. I teamed up with Tim Sway on this build. Once you're finished watching his part, come on over to my channel and check out the second part. And while I got you here, let me take a few seconds to tell you about myself.
And I also have to thank Chancey, who's a CNC geek on Reddit, and Jeff Worley. They both helped me out immensely with understanding the language and of the coding and whatnot. The rest of the video is going to show you how I made them, and give you some hints and some tips of some things that might come in handy if you go and try to make these on your own. I hope you enjoy. I really hope you make some blocks and make some changes to these blocks and play along. Thank you all very much. Have a happy and safe and healthy holiday season, and be good. The file is set up to make these blocks from 1/2-inch thick plywood. The pockets and tabs all correspond to the 0.46-inch measurement that the plywood actually is, so they can fit together in various ways, vertically, horizontally. Now I used a piece of MDF underlay to protect my workbed when I was cutting them out, and I used spray glue to keep my work on there, plus a couple screws. The spray glue helps keep the pieces from getting knocked free as they get their final pass to cut out, but every once in a while I would have one still get knocked free anyway, so maybe you could use two-sided tape, maybe you could use more spray glue. Sometimes I just kind of reach over and hold one down with like a little stick or something. I did a lot of experimenting with the most material efficient way to lay the pieces out, but I also supplied the code as just one piece of each, so you could decide the best way to lay it out for your machine and your purposes.
Wow, I can't believe the accuracy of that is 0.5090. The first one we did, our hole is 0.49. Second one we did, our hole is 0.6. Way too big. We need to just nudge it. Allowance also. An allowance can be specified to either overcut or undercut the shape. So if I were to go to my original toolpath, I would want to overcut. Let's go 0.3.
Okay, so here's a quick recap. I drew these two shapes in VCarve that fit together. The math is easy on paper, but then in the real world you have to worry about thicknesses and spaces and stuff, and that's where some of this stuff gets a little scary and complicated. I been talking with machinists prior to making these, and they were talking about things like the inside cut, because you can't just cut a straight line like that real easily with a round bit. So you have to do these fillets, they call them, although I think it should be pronounced fillet, to sort of round that over so it fits in and it removes that extra material. And then the other problem we had was that when I just cut around the outside of the line, and I had this was 0.5 and this was 0.5, the machine's so accurate that they were just too tight. So then I tried widening it up, and I went way too wide, about 1/4 inch wide because of the thickness of the tool. Then I got this one where I just sort of guessed. I was able to adjust an allowance, and I guessed, and it was just a little too loose, so I did one more guess based on that. I zeroed in on this perfect fit right here. I wanted to include some of this trial and error in the discovery process for the benefit of those using this series to learn more about CNC. The final plans that you can download are all set up and work well. They're a little tight. Some of them are a little tighter than others, so I might adjust that measurement just a little bit. 1/4 inch plywood isn't really a 1/4 inch thick, and I kind of did not take that into account as I put these together. I just went with those very basic measurements, so it's a little bit loose if I want to try and stack them this way, which takes away some functionality of the pieces. So I'm going to mess now with all that I've learned. I'm going to mess around a little bit more with that file. I have these physical objects in my hand, and so I'm going to see if I can make, and I'll just do one at a time. I'm going to keep playing with and adjusting these parameters until they really fit exactly the way I want them to, and then I'll have a file to share. I had to adjust the cut allowance on my machine by 0.0186 inches on the larger female pieces only to get them to fit good. But Paul Jackman needed no adjustments, so try a few on your machine before you start trying to cut them all.
That's pretty darn good. I'm going to cut the rest of them out right there.
I had to save that on my wall of pride. I did some minimal cleaning on the edges, just a little bit of sanding here and there, and I used mineral spirits and some sandpaper to get some of the spray glue off. And as you can see here, the pieces will actually interlock vertically or horizontally. And you should definitely go check out what Paul Jackman came up with, because I was not expecting it. And there's so many other options of the different types of pieces that can be made, and Paul's just knocked it out of the park, so check that out. And remember, this isn't a CNC only club. You can make these by hand very easily on a bandsaw or whatever. You don't even have to worry about cutting out all the fillets. You can just make 90-degree corners and they'll all fit together just great. Well, thank you very much for watching, and I hope you play along and you enjoy this. This is a great, fun project. I had a lot of fun playing with these. I can't wait to give them to my son and watch him play with them. And I'm really excited to see what some of the other ideas people come up with. I could really see a lot of potential games being made, as well as just different shaped blocks and stuff. Thanks again. Have a happy holiday season, and be good.